that this statement by President Samia Suluhu Hassan came exactly a week after she received a report from the Justice Chande Commission that was investigating the events that happened around the elections of October 29 and the statistics about people who died, 518, who were maimed, how many foreigners were affected by that. She had that data. Then a week later she comes and says, mkwajo huku mkwajo kule kwingine.
You know, Fred, thank you for having me this morning. And I'm just seated here wondering why we should not call it for what it is. You know, I need to be very honest with you. First and foremost, the leadership within East Africa and Africa at large is a bit worried with the kind of trend and the kind of agitation and the kind of, you know, recognition of how leadership should be from the citizens. For the longest, the leadership within East Africa have taken advantage of the ignorance of the people they lead. So the people they lead are okay. They are very comfortable with the dictatorial nature on how the leadership is presented. So the ruling class is not comfortable with the signs of Arab uprising that happened within the Arabic countries that brought about a lot of change, which they are aware it can happen. So it's the trickling down effect that they are afraid of, that what happens in Kenya could easily, you know, be transferred. The spirit in Kenya can easily be transferred in Tanzania, in Uganda, and things like that. So they would want us to remain, you know, very obedient and following the rule and respecting whoever is there, even if they do not reciprocate in terms of the kind of leadership that they are giving us. So that is the problem, and that is a statement he was trying to make. But I need to bring, you know, to the attention of the president of Tanzania that nobody liked how she got into that position in the first place. There was absolutely no no justice in any way and form on how she actually ascended into power for her second term. So let's start there. She knows that she is in that office illegally by, of course, oppressing the opposition of that particular country. She ended up standing by herself, right? So now she's worried that Kenya, a lot of Tanzanians, if you look at the TikTok and internet and everything that is happening, there's a lot of, you know, admiration that is being seen coming out of Tanzania, youths, you know, like admiring what is happening. Sometimes they even make joke of what happens, the occurrences of Kenya, which means they are following. They are following every step of what's happening in Kenya. And that is actually the fear they have. What I can tell them, you cannot, this is a fraud gate. I mean, it's a fraud that is coming. And they should be aware of what is coming. It might not happen in Tanzania anytime soon because they are so much behind in terms of how they have constitutionalized their country. But in Kenya, we are in a state where you cannot block it from happening.
Okay. And you just said it.
And I think I need to bring to your attention, Fred, that I hand it over back to you, that in our own constitution, because any nation is as good as its own constitution, what made Samia behave in a manner that she behaved in Tanzania in the last election was the same constitution. Because you remember, the constitution had actually paved the way for every occurrence and every behavior that she did. But in Kenya, I need to bring them into the preamble of our constitution. And within the preamble of our constitution, one of the things that it actually talks about, it's about the human rights and how it is that they need to be respected and the freedoms that we enjoy as a country. Right. We have moved from what it is that Tanzania believes in and is subscribing to as far as laws are concerned into what it is that we are as a country. Okay. We have a border, I know, and I know we have Jumuiya, as you said, we're going to discuss this later. But whether we have a Jumuiya or not, the rule of the law, the rule of the land is the one that dictates how a country should be run.
And let's consider that, Jumuiya, because you yourself, you've mentioned that Tanzania is behind Kenya. It's the same statement that President William Ruto said the other day, and many people are not happy, including some ministers in Tanzania. Yeah. And I'm looking at the front page of the Daily Nation because it focuses on what President William Ruto was doing in Tanzania in his two-day official